Hey, everybody, welcome to our podcast. This is the Photo Hustle podcast,
The
and
photo
our
hustle.
hosts are, are me. My name is Mondo Rojas, and we have the lovely.
Anna Sillin. Hey, everybody. What's up,
So,
Mondo?
gosh, going so good. Going so good, so good. We have lots to
Yes.
talk about, lots of things to discuss.
Oh my gosh, yes, we
This is
do.
our very first episode, so this is going to be really awesome. We've
Amazing.
been talking about this for a long time. I'm super, super, super excited for it.
Same here. Same here. I'm really, really excited to be here because now we've been talking about this a lot and what we want to do, and here we are. Let's go, photo hustle. Let's go.
So I think in here, like we talked about, we're going to be talking just photography, business in photography, how to get clients, how to retain clients, pop
Yeah.
culture stuff, what's going on in the world, as far as like
And
trending looks
yeah,
and things like that, which I think
even
is
some of our
really, really
favorite
good.
gear. I think we have
Yes,
like any new
gear
gear.
review.
I love that. That's like my
Oh,
favorite
I
part.
love gear.
I'm not a,
It's so
I'm
good.
not, I know. I love technology. So that's my
Hmm.
downfall. But so yeah, Ooh, we have like a little guest back there.
Oh yeah, that's my guy. Hey, buddy.
Hello. So yes, I think so just a little bit about myself. I'm Anna Sun. I I have been in the photography business since July 2019. I say that specifically because June is when I was let go from my job in the corporate world. So here I am. I decided to go straight into photography and I just never looked back. So uh been like amazing hustle with the photography world, starting with Peter Hurley and Scott Robert Lim as my mentors. But Peter is how I know Mondo over here with the headshot crew. So we are headshot crew
Headshot crew.
peoples. Yes, yes, we love it. We love our crew.
Oh, the crew's the best. I wouldn't
I
be here
know.
today without him, for sure.
Same here. Same here. And we love that Peter Hurley. He's amazing.
Oh, yes. That's my man. That is my man. I've
But
never met
tell
anybody that it's once you're a part of this, just he just breeds success, right?
hmm
If you're around him, and I guess it goes back to that sentiment of like, if you want to be successful, hang around successful people,
hmm
and you hang around him, the things that you learn just by watching him work and you start applying it to your photography and business model, you start making way more money, and it's
right,
crazy to think that somebody can have that type of influence, just by watching, it's
right,
crazy and I love it.
right. But yeah,
Uh,
on that note,
um,
Mondo, tell us about you. How did you get
ooh.
started with photography?
Let's see. So my name is Mondo Rojas. I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada. I have been shooting pro for about 13 years or so. I joined the headshot crew back in 2019 as well. I
hmm
believe it was the summer of 2019. And I just love it. I've always been a creative since I was like a little guy, since I was like five. And I knew I wanted to do something in the art field. I just didn't know what it was. And at the time, it was, drawing and painting and things like that. But I got into photography when my ex and I got pregnant with our first daughter. And I was like, you know
Wow.
what? I think I really want to get into this, not thinking it's going to go anywhere. But
hmm
there's this one shot that I did, and we took her up to the mountains and we set up this whole thing, and she just looks so beautiful. And the shot I got is just after I got it and I processed it, I was like, I can do this for a living. This is what I'm meant to be doing.
Yeah.
But I joined the crew in 2019, and that's when I just kind of like put aside everything that I was doing as far as photography related, doing weddings and families and all that, to just headshots. And that's all I've been doing since. And I just love it. I love it
That's
so much.
amazing. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, me
Hmm.
too. I mean, it's they always say like niche it down because we can do,
Hmm.
everyone thinks from off the cuff, like photography. Oh, you do weddings, you do family, do you
You
do
do everything.
newborns? Yeah, you do everything, right? But to niche it down, oh my gosh, that was like 100% a game changer. So yeah, I
Hmm.
also do like the headshots and personal branding. So that's where I'm able to kind of get a little bit of like variety from my shoots as well. So that's kind of fun too. So,
Now, do you have a shot also that like you took it and you're like, okay, this is the
hmm
shot that's gonna that propelled you to the career that you're in now?
yes, yes, you reminded me that. And funny thing is, it didn't have any people in it. It was like, I know, because like when I started, I was like, oh yeah, I love this shot. So the shot is of it's right off of my balcony. It was probably March of 2016 where I felt like the world was coming to an end. It was like all like fall, spring, summer, all in one day, the weather. So it was like snowing and raining and there was sunny and then it just repeated like four
Mhm.
times. It was crazy. So I took out my iPhone.
Jeez.
Yeah, I took out my iPhone and I was like, because of my condo window, it faces west. So I see like when the system is coming through, into Chicago.
Hmm.
So I can see and I have a very clear view because like my condo faces is backed, there's like a train tracks behind me. And then there's like a little bit of empty space, which is private property for the train tracks. So it's kind of like nice open space there. So I can see like when the rain comes and hits the ground and it's just kind of
Mm.
billows up like the sand below. And so that's what was happening. I'm like, oh, okay. So I took my iPhone at the time. I know it's crazy iPhone, but so I took some videos there. Oops, I'm gonna get a little uh reflection there. But yeah, I took a shot of the the system of rain and sun or whatever. So the rain coming down, and I just fell in love because it just gave me that whole feel of like capturing that moment in time. So you'll see that
That's awesome.
if you look me up on Google, it's everybody usually has pictures of like their headshots and stuff like that. Well, my main photo that comes up is that picture. So up
That is so cool.
yeah. So that's kind of what got me started. And I was like, hey, I love this. And a train was coming through at the same time. So I caught that shot of like the motion of the rain
Oh, that's
coming down
awesome.
and the train coming through. And of course, yes, maybe in post, I might have highlighted the light a little bit more. But yeah, so what can you say? It's all art, right?
It is. It is. But that's the
hmm
thing, though, is that like, you have your purists out there that say, nope, the way it is how it's supposed to be. But
hmm
let's not forget that, like, you have the greats like Ansel Adams that would do post processing as well, and he would burn,
hmm
and dodge and do all that stuff in the dark room. So it's just a earlier version of Photoshop, right? So he
Yeah.
wanted to
Yeah. Yeah.
convey a certain feeling. So yeah, he would stack exposures and things like that. So I don't see the problem in doing that at all. You're creating art yourself. I mean, what's the difference between, you know, setting up a couple of lights to do the same thing versus in post, you know?
Right.
So long as it
hmm
doesn't look cartoonish but even if that's your vibe, that's your vibe. That's your art. You're doing
Yeah.
it the way you want it.
I think
But
this is such a great question though, because like for everybody, it's like, in the photography world, I think we should like we'll have like an Instagram social media. I think eventually we should have everybody send in like what's your favorite image that got you into photography as
yeah,
well, right?
exactly. Yeah,
So
that's a great idea. So yeah, so if you're
yeah.
listening, you're watching on the YouTubes or the TikToks, yeah, we'll have something set up to where you guys could send us in your aha photo of
Yeah,
what inspired you to keep on doing it and go, you know what, I can do this for a living, and this is what I want to be doing. This is what I'm meant to be doing. I think
that's
that'd be
right.
really,
That's
really good.
that's right. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, good.
And then for
Awesome.
the listeners, because it's gonna be on a podcast, for the listeners, I'll have a link to Anna's shots as well as mine. That way you guys can see. And then for the video, well, you'll have it on here because I'll splice it in so you guys can see what we're talking
Perfect.
about. But
That
yeah, I
is
would love to see
amazing.
what inspired people to go on to that journey. It's just phenomenal.
Yeah, I know. Isn't it amazing like what a photo can do? Just amazing.
It is. It is. Well, we're visual creatures, right? Photos
hmm
and imagery has been a part of us as a species since forever. I mean, you're
hmm
talking early cave paintings and things like that, and it's just that's how we express ourselves. This is how we tell
hmm
our stories.
Right.
And now we have our medium of photography, through lenses and be able to capture these moments in history of people's lives or just events that go on. It's just, we were talking earlier about the effect of that, of like, for most of
Mm-hmm.
these historical shots, we don't know who, just as a generality, we don't know who shot that. We don't know who did that. But it
Mm-hmm.
is such a part of our culture that it's going to be there forever, and it's going to impact people, make people feel things, and ultimately it could change how we see and perceive our society and our world,
Right.
through these images, which I think is phenomenal.
Pretty powerful. Powerful stuff that we
Hmm.
do. I love it. I love it.
Yes, it
So
is.
what's on our agenda today, Mondo? What do we want to talk about?
So let's talk about, one of the biggest problems I find with newbie photographers and things is that we don't know, and I say we because I had the same issue and I still have the
Mm-hmm.
issue. I think it's something that doesn't really go away,
Yeah.
of finding clients, of trying to network. How do you do that successfully? What is your go-to thing, and how do you, build a strong client connection? And like, what are the do's and don'ts of that?
Right. Right. So I think that's just so we experienced this so I think we're coming in from like the perspective of we are seasoned photographers. We've been working with like the corporate space for
Hmm.
some time and working with even our individual clients, so maintaining that relationship is a big part of it because it's not just like one and done. You want to make sure that you want to be able to have them ask for you back. You want to be like that main. How do you become that main photographer for
The go-to person, yeah.
that go-to person, right?
Hmm.
So it's like because half the hardest part for a client, or let's take a corporate client, for example, right? Because that's something that we both are familiar with. And
Yep.
one of the hardest things for them to do is to find that photographer, right? They don't really want to have to think too much about it. They know that we have like a laundry list of requirements of what they want to accomplish. Like, we have like maybe 50 of our staff that we want to photograph, but we have had this type of background before, this type of lighting or whatever. We have our certain style, which is why they come to us directly, right? But there's certain
Hmm.
nuances to like what uh what they've had in the past. And maybe that photographer is no longer there anymore, or um maybe they didn't like working with them before and they want to find, or maybe they just want a fresh new look. So it's hard for those clients to do that search when it's like probably one of the last things they want to think about doing, right? As far as like their
Yeah.
marketing and doing research. I'm like, oh, now I gotta find a photography. So you can't
Hmm.
just so what do? You look for referrals, right? You look for ask your other
Hmm.
colleagues, right? And maybe they land on you, right? So and then once that happens, uh now we're at that place, right? We're at that place. How do you keep that relationship going? Like Manda, for example, like some of your clients, how do you what does that look like for you?
So the way, like, okay, so if are you talking like I already have a client, so how do I maintain it?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
How do you maintain your current clients and
It's
hope
it's a
with the
lot
hopes
of
to build from there?
it's a lot of niceties, right? And it's not in a fake way or disingenuous way. I have my clients that book me regularly, and I'm constantly sending them, thank you cards, and I'll send them a gift basket here and there for different things.
Hmm.
Just it keeps you top of mind, and you're also building value.
Right.
So I always tell my clients that I want you guys forever. I want to be your go-to person. I want to be that person that you think of when you need a photo, and there's no hesitation there. And so I don't mind going the extra mile. I don't mind, doing extra things for them because on the long run, it pays for itself, right? So
Yeah.
like come Christmas time, I send out gift baskets and things like that, chocolates, David and Harry things, and just things like that. And I also I keep track of their birthdays. So like
Oh,
the
you
person who
too.
hired me or the CEO, yeah, I keep track of that. So that way I send
Nice.
them a little card or something like that. It's just it's the little niceties that take
Hmm.
nothing really but time, not even a whole lot of money, just time. And
Yeah,
you let them know that, hey, it's happy birthday. I hope you have a great day, or here's a bottle of wine on me, or something like that. And that just it goes a long way speaking to that relationship and that rapport, I
that's
feel.
amazing. I
Um,
love that.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, like
yeah,
you have
like
is there a certain is there a certain threshold on like what type of client gets what type of gift, or is it just, hey,
it's
hey,
just
what's like,
well,
when does the
for my
Dom
bigger
Perignon come
clients.
out? I was like, I mean, or is that even possible? Because I know like some corporate clients have like some restrictions on what gifts like they can receive. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
But I mean, it takes what, a second to make a birthday card.
Mm,
You could do it through
right.
Canva. I wouldn't buy it like from Hallmark. I would
Hmm.
make it. And
Yeah.
that way it shows effort and it shows intent and it shows that you didn't just pull it out of the grocery store and say, hey, here you go. It's a custom thing for them.
Wow.
Luckily, I have a wife who is very crafty. She likes
Wow.
making things, and she has a couple of crickets, so she can make cards and have them cut out and things like that, really stylize it well.
Okay.
um
Amazing. I need to hire her. I was like,
right.
okay, we need to put her information in this too. So
Right.
like gift giving service,
But I
craft
mean, it's not
craft
like you could do like Canva.
cards.
You can make someone in
Hmm.
something in Canva, and then have it printed up at a printer like FedEx or something like that, and send it off that way. It's just little personal touches I feel that speak really really well. Because also think about it like this: what would do it for you? Put yourself in their shoes, and I
Right.
always try to tell this to people that I teach or I talk to, is like that perception versus perspective. Put yourself in their perspective. What would do it for you? What would make you feel good? What would make you feel like, oh wow, this person really did a good
Hmm.
job, and they thought of
Yeah,
me. They took the time out of their day to make this thing for me or to send me this thing, whatever it is, you
that's
know.
amazing. I need to take a page out of your book, or maybe I need to just talk to your wife and just like, hey, have her help me make these cards. But
Yeah,
the
right.
only, but the one thing that I do for pretty consistently is that when around the holidays, I always send my top tier clients holiday cards and just give them like a quick update on who I am. And it's still like the holiday card that I send to like my friends and family too, because I want them to know who I am and I want them to have them feel like they are friends and family to me because
Hmm.
they help support me, right?
Yeah.
So why not? I don't see them any differently other than the fact that they are there to support my business. And actually I genuinely am very interested in their lives. So and
Hmm.
I've said that to a couple other people have asked me like, why do you do that? And I'm like, well, these are people that you build that relationship with. You become
Hmm.
you're not just a vendor to them. You are somebody that they can confidently go to, that they can trust, that you are going
Hmm.
to deliver a product exactly what they expect. So,
Yep.
um, yeah, so I think it's worth it to make sure that you go a little bit, go the extra mile and show them a little gratitude for
Hmm.
for their support. Hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, like you said, at the end of the day, this supports my lifestyle. This supports my
Hmm.
children. This supports, their activities because I take that money, I pay my taxes on it, and then the rest, it goes my overhead, and the rest after that goes to the house.
Oh
And
my gosh,
without
yes.
without these clients, I couldn't do any of that, and I would be stuck working what I was doing before. Which, if you know anything about me, which if you don't, here it is. I worked in the casino industry for about 22 years, and
Amazing. Yes, I know.
yes,
I remember
long, long
this.
time. Oh
Hmm.
my goodness. 17 of that was at the Win and Encore as a table games dealer as well as a pit boss. And I hated it. I hated it. And the only reason why I was doing it was because on my artistic journey, I was given a lot of these paradigms from my parents saying that starving artists and you can't make money doing art and all this other stuff. And
Same.
it
Hmm.
was something that just I could not do. I needed a real, quote unquote, real job.
Yeah.
And after about a couple of years in the crew, and seeing the type of money that I was making and where I could be going, as well as the support from the crew members as well as from Peter going, hey, what the fuck are you doing, Mondo? Why are you still working? You should be doing this. Why aren't you doing this? You know,
Yeah.
what are your numbers right now? And just that constant push of me going, you know what? I could do this.
Hmm.
And
Yes, you
finally
could.
I was like, you know what? I'm done. And I quit. And here I am doing this now. I'm on my second year now, and it's been going so good. I wish I'd done this 15 years ago,
I'm
but
so proud of
here we
you,
are.
Mondo. I am so proud of you. Well, honestly, when I first met you, it was back at what was it, 2019? I don't know. When did we do the Headshot Mania?
That was 2020. That was Headshot Mania
2020?
2 in 2020. Yeah.
Okay.
It was my
So,
first big event with the crew.
mhm. Yeah, mine too. Mine too. And I met Mondo. Uh, you had your setup in one of the rooms, and it was amazing. And I was like, oh my gosh, this guy has been in this for a long time. I thought you were full time for a very long time.
Oh, really?
Literally, I thought you were. And I'm like, I must know this person. He looks like he knows what he's doing.
Not at all.
Oh my gosh. But you're I just remember meeting you there and I was like, yeah, this is a person I need to know. We're gonna be good
Yeah,
friends.
back at you. Back
Yeah.
at you. It was like this really cool, like instant kind of connection between the two of us, you know, and
Yeah.
yeah, I was like, yep, Anna's my person. I
Yep,
dig her.
yep,
She's
yep.
awesome.
Yeah, exactly. So that we talked about this is me all the time. I always jump the gun and I go to like the middle of a story. I really should go to the start from the beginning. Like, you know, the question is really about, yes, how do we have our client relationships? How do we build the relationships? But how do we get those? How do you find your clients? What
Oh,
so I mean, it's great, and these are all good pointers, and that we're all going to take pages out of Mondo's book and start hiring his wife for cards. But let's find how do you find your clients? What do you do?
so luckily, oh my goodness. I want to say I have no idea. They find me, you know, but
Yeah.
I know that I'm doing outreach and things like that. I mean, that's just a part of it. But a lot of it's word of mouth. And
Hmm.
you cannot have anything better than word of mouth. And I find that most of my clients are word of mouth. So while I do, you know, do outreach and I do, you know, a lot of, you know, LinkedIn posts and things like that, generally I ask people like, hey, so how'd you find me? They either say Google or I knew somebody that you had shot previous and I just love their work. And so
Hmm.
I had to come see you. And that is phenomenal. But
Doesn't that feel
still, though,
good?
oh my God, yes, yes,
Doesn't
it
that feel
does.
so
Because
good? Yes.
those people, they do the work for you. They're like, oh, this
I
guy is great.
know.
Look at what he did
I'm
for
like,
me. He
oh
had my
my
picture taken.
gosh.
Here it is.
Yes, that is so
So,
nice.
oh my goodness. So yeah. So all you got to do is make sure you perform well, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like I'm not gonna mess this thing up because they talked me up. So I gotta
You
do my
better do a
thing,
good
you know,
job,
and I do.
Mondo.
Hmm. Oh my gosh, yes, no pressure at all.
No pressure. But so I guess it
Hmm.
is kind of like, is it the chicken or the egg? So
Yeah.
you do the job, you get the referral, and then it's word of mouth. There you go. It's like, so there you go. This is why,
Hmm.
and this is why Anna starts her stories in the middle. Yeah,
But
because
also, I think what it
eventually.
is as well is with social media being so prominent in our lives,
Hmm.
taking control of that. Which for us older people, I'm in my mid 40s now. We
Hmm.
didn't grow up with all this, so it's very strange and foreign to me to record myself talking about anything, you know.
Right.
But I find that a lot of my clients who haven't heard of me that kind of Google me or they see me on Instagram or something like that, they come to me because of the videos that I have put out there. Because they get a sense of your personality, they get a sense of how you work, they get a sense of the overall experience. And so it goes to something that we talk about a lot is don't tell me, show me. Because I can tell
Hmm.
somebody all day long, I take the best headshots in the world, you know, but
Hmm.
if I don't show them that process and they can't see themselves in that process, you're not going to book anything, you know?
Right.
And so,
Right.
like I do a lot of conferences and I get a lot of repeat business from the people that I shot at those conferences because they go, you were so great. I love my work. Now, can you come out to, not just Vegas, but like, I've gone to San Diego. I travel to wherever their office is to shoot
Hmm.
their staff and things like that.
Right.
So, you
Hmm.
know, they are like, hey, this is great. I love your work and I love exactly what you do. So keep doing that here, which is awesome.
That's amazing.
But
That
how
is
about you?
amazing.
What do you do?
I do a lot of networking events. I actually do get a lot of referrals. I was looking at my end of year last year on like where are people finding me? And a lot of it is from referrals as well. And like you said something there about everything is about being able to see and hear who you are. And we can say that we take like amazing shots, but it's about who you are and if that's somebody that they can see themselves working with. So
Hmm.
I don't have I put out like some reels on Instagram, so which is my efforts on getting myself out there, and being able to show who what my personality is like. But this is also something I tell all my other clients too. Like when they come to me for branding and headshots, like you gotta get your name out there. It's all about your getting your name, getting your images, having them
Hmm.
hear and see you. That's how
Hmm.
people will gravitate towards you, and that's how it's happened for me. Um,
Yep.
Along with networking groups that I'm a part of here in Chicago. Um, Women's networking groups have been very helpful and very beneficial for my business. To just I'm very social. I like to go out. I like to go out. So you give me somebody to talk to, I'll talk to you for hours.
Oh, I'm
Whatever.
the same way.
You know,
My wife
you
and kids hate it
yeah.
because I go
I
anywhere.
know.
I make a
Oh,
new friend.
yeah. It's where the point where you're gonna have to do the Irish goodbye and just like take off and not stop talking.
And
It's
my
like,
kids do that to me now. They go, "Sorry, we gotta go." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, yeah, I'll talk to you."
yeah, yeah,
Some
yeah.
random person I met at the store.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah. So long story short, that's how I find all my peoples. And yeah, we just gotta maintain. You gotta
Mhm.
maintain those relationships all the way through. It's about nourishing it, nurturing it. I always get that
So
wrong. I was on a previous podcast and I get that wrong. Yeah,
I do the same thing. You get tongue tied and twisted up,
yeah,
and
yeah,
what's up here doesn't translate in your
yeah,
mouth. But
yeah.
so let me ask you this. So okay, so you say you go to a couple of different networking events and things like that. So there's a women's
Hmm.
one. What other ones? Is it like chamber events? Is it BNI? What networking places are you at?
So a BNI I know is very successful for a lot of people, but it doesn't really work well for me. But I do have I'm part of it's called BEA. It's the Business Executive Associates networking group. And I might have gotten that wrong, but I'll have to look that up. It's the BEA of Chicago, and it's a lot of corporate clients that are in there. And there's really only like one of each industry. And it's actually an interviewing process as well to get into this group. So I have that. I have another networking group called the Inner Circle. Uh, and that's stemmed from some colleagues that I went to church with at Old St. Pat's, and then they started up this networking group. And it's nice though, that there's there's no criteria on having to like you have to refer X, Y, and Z. This number of people. It's
Hmm.
a little bit less stringent on like what you need to do, um, other than just showing up for yourself.
See, and I like that because
Hmm.
I don't like the pressure of having to recruit. And I'm
Yeah,
like, I don't want to do that. I get
yeah.
that's a part of it because you have to network and but I
Hmm.
feel like I'm doing it for somebody else as opposed to for my own needs and things like that. So I just want to show up at a place and then meet people, hang out, pass
Yeah.
out a business card, get to know people there, as opposed to like, hey, you haven't recruited like three people this month. What's going on? You gotta get those numbers up and It's like,
Yeah.
well, no, I'm
And
already paying you guys. Like,
that's,
what?
I
I'm paying
know,
you $800 a year. What do I gotta
I
do for you now?
know. Exactly. And that's the part that gets me all like high on anxieties, right? Because I'm like, I
Mm-hmm.
can't find other, I'm like, if there's a requirement for these things, then, I'm automatically going to fail. I know that's a very,
Mm-hmm.
very bad thought process, but I know me, and that's not my style. I like to make genuine connections with people because the people that I genuinely connect with are the people I'm going to refer.
Yes.
And just think
Yes.
about that too, right? Because if you do make a genuine connection with somebody, you're always going to be top of mind or somewhere whenever the topic comes, right? And that,
Mm-hmm.
maybe I'm looking for someone, a financial advisor. I'm like, oh my God, I love mine, or I
Yep.
know
Yep.
this person, right? So it's those people for me that I make a genuine connection with and I really cultivate and build that relationship. Again, it's that building that relationship topic, right? That
Mm-hmm.
really helps sink things in for me. And then that's how I can be successful at not only being the one that's referred, but also referring others that I am in a community with. So
Mm-hmm.
that's
No, I
that's how
agree.
I've
People
been
buy
very
from people.
successful. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would much rather refer somebody that I know and I relatively care about, right? Like not every person I
Mm-hmm.
meet is going to be like, my,
Yeah.
my my brother or sister.
Right.
It's like, no, I like them. They're good people, I know about them and their family. So whether they're a CPA or whatever else, if someone needs one, I'm going to refer them first before just some nameless person that I Googled, right?
Right.
And
Right.
so, especially from smaller businesses like us or a standalone CPA office or things like that, it's just, yeah, because one, you've used them, you like them, and you want to help them and their business, thrive by giving whatever you can, you know?
Exactly. Exactly.
Hmm.
So build those relationships and nurture them
Hmm.
because they will pay you back.
Oh, for sure. Now let's talk the do's and don'ts of networking events because I have been guilty of
Yeah.
this because you feel
Okay.
like you have to do certain things a certain way, but it always ends up being a turn off. And so
Hmm.
let's talk about the don'ts first. Let's get the negative out the way. So what would you say
Okay.
is a big don't for you in a networking event?
And a networking event. Okay. Don't just go up to somebody and just say, here's my card. This is what I do. You know,
Yeah.
like blah, barf. Come
Hmm.
on. Of course, we all are there for the same reason to like get to know other people, but get to know me first, right? Let's
Hmm.
like, hey, find a common ground. I feel like that it can only do much better for you if you get to know somebody first before like telling them exactly what you do. Don't talk about yourself too much, right?
Yeah.
Let let them be heard. Let them do the
Yeah.
talking first, right?
Hmm.
Ask them
Yeah.
questions.
I see it like the sales associate. You go into a department store, you're gonna get this salesperson comes up and says, "Can I help you find anything?" And the answer, even though you do need the help, is always, "No, no, I'm just browsing things. I'm good." Nobody wants to be sold to, especially at
Hmm.
these things. They're there to have some
Hmm.
drinks, meet some people, and you can always tell the newbies from the seasoned people because
Yeah,
the seasoned people just hang out and talk and they
right.
are working on those relationships. And the
Hmm.
newer people, and again, I was guilty of this as well, is that you feel like, well, I gotta let people know who I am. I gotta, here's my card, here's my card, here's my card. And
Hmm.
now I don't. I give out cards, but not until like way later if they ask for it. They go, "Oh, you have a
Right.
card or something?" Like, "Oh yeah, well here you go." But is
Yeah.
it cool if I hook up with you on LinkedIn? Is it cool if I send you a message? Not about this, but I was talking about a recipe, so let me send you that recipe, or something,
Yeah.
something other
Something.
than business, you know.
Right. Yeah. Find some like common ground. And
Hmm.
then go from there and then just like, go all balls out. I do photography, XYZ, blah, 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 blah. Okay. I'm
Hmm.
amazing. You want to work with me, type of
You're
thing.
right.
But get to know me first, right? Or get to know the other person first.
Exactly, exactly. Buy me a drink. Buy a girl a drink. Come on,
Yeah.
romance me.
Oh my God. What's another don't that you would think?
A don't is I think a don't within the first few minutes of meeting somebody, don't talk business, talk about interests, you
Mm-hmm.
know, because
Yeah.
again, just going back to like, it feels salesy, and I don't like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I'll make a comment about something like I'm very observant just because I have to be in the business that we are. I just find myself focusing on the little details. And
Hmm.
so if I see somebody like with nice shoes on, or, a gal who did just awesome with her nails, I'm like, oh my God, I love your nails, girlfriend. They look so good. Where'd you get them done at? Not because, I mean, I do my own nails, but I mean, not for me
Hmm.
necessarily, but for like my wife, that way I can
Yeah.
recommend another place that they went to, as far as like a nail salon goes or something like that, or hey, what'd you do interesting this week? And some
Hmm.
people don't have an answer. They go, well, nothing. I'm not really interesting. Like, oh, bullshit. You are. What are you into? Like, what do you like to do? Are you a movie person? Do you like
Hmm.
hiking? Like, tell me some trails. Like, I'm looking to get into it, you
Yeah,
know?
exactly.
And then you're putting yourself as just a person trying to get to know another person, and then the business comes on the end. Like, oh, you know what? I like, can I take you to a coffee or something like that? We can sit there and just chit chat, and then you exchange the cards. I feel is a
Yeah,
better way to kind of do things.
that's totally right. I love that. I love that. Okay, so one more don't I would say is don't talk about politics.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, that's
Yes.
all. That's
Yes.
all I'm gonna say. With it, it's a very
Hmm.
big rule. Like when they say when you're meeting with like friends and family, but politics is also another not a thing that you should not talk about when you're at a networking event because you just never know.
Yeah, that's gonna be, 100% with you on that. Don't do that.
Yeah,
No, no, no.
definitely not. Okay,
Mm-mm.
so that's all I got to say on that one.
So let's shift gears. So
And
let's shift gears
cut.
now. Let's talk about, yeah, right. Since we
Okay.
are in February, we got Black History Month going on. I feel it's important to showcase some art that really is, again, what we do as creatives, right? We create art to be enjoyed for generations to come, to be a part of our
Hmm.
culture, to so that way when so and so is doing a book report, they Google something, it pops up, right?
Right.
And so
Hmm.
there is this one shot that I really, really love. We were just looking at it, and I couldn't tell you who shot it. It doesn't say, but
Yeah.
that's also like one of the best parts about what we do is that it's great that your work will live on forever, but for the most part, as a generality, people aren't going to know who shot it or
Right.
care really. It's just
I
there.
know.
And this one is, let's see, Ella Fitzgerald, and she
Hmm.
is performing at Mr. Kelly's nightclub circa 1958 in Chicago.
Yes.
And
And I
this
did. I
one, oh,
I looked up that club too. I was like, I'm in Chicago. I'm like, maybe like I'll go to it, but it's no longer here. Bummer.
oh no,
But the photo is outstanding. I love it,
it
love it, love
really
it.
is.
Doesn't it
And
make you
so
want to
for
do like
our
some vintage
listeners,
vibes,
oh, absolutely. It's like
right?
super grainy and it's just, but that's what it was at the time. Because you're talking super low light. We
Yep.
get babied now because our cameras can handle really low light with super high ISOs and things like that. But for our listeners, if we can go ahead and just describe this photo real quick, um, it's Ella Fitzgerald. She's performing, she's singing. She has a band behind her, it looks like. And
Yes.
there's a smaller microphone just like maybe a foot and a half away from her, which really kind of would speak to her performance because to have it that far away and to be able to sing and have everyone hear you, she must have some really good pipes on her because
Yeah.
that's a big move. Um, it looks like it's a single light source coming off on almost mid camera right.
And
There's
it
like a sea of people kind of watching her perform,
right. It almost
and
looks like there might be another light just on her right side or like just a little bit. Just so that it
it's like a
can
little
light up her
spotlight.
face. Yeah, a little spotlight
Hmm.
just on her face. But it's just so touching. Oh my goodness. I love the silhouette of the audience in the background where and you can see the hair light on them as well from the
Hmm.
backlight. And there's just a hint of light on some of the audience's face where you can see that they're just so enamored with her singing and they're just so glued in. They're just like if she wasn't singing, you could hear a pin drop. They're just listening to every single note that she's singing. And that's how I feel when I look at this image. It's amazing.
Oh, I agree. And without even, because we can't hear her, but I can hear her in my mind, you know,
Yes.
and she is so enveloped in what she's doing. Her eyes are closed, her hands on her chest, and
Yeah.
she's really feeling what she is doing. You know,
Yeah.
this
She's
isn't
feeling
just
those
uh,
notes. Uh-huh.
oh yeah, she is living it.
Hmm.
It's not just her kind of going through the motions. She's really feeling everything about it. And I feel that as the viewer. I think that's really cool.
Yes. And it's like that's the amazing part of like photography is like you can capture a moment in time, right? And this
Hmm.
is just like I feel it. I feel this moment. And you could
Hmm.
see, like you were saying, the expression on her face and how she just feels like these notes. She feels these notes like resonating in her body.
Hmm.
And I just, I just love it. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of this shot. I love it.
Yeah, I agree. And then like compositionally, you know, you don't really have the rule of thirds kind of going on unless you want to tie in the crowd with her as a subject. But her as
Yeah.
a subject, she's relatively small in camera left versus the rest of the frame. But
Mm-hmm.
it is telling that story in the rest of the frame of context of where she's at, context of who's listening to her, and what the overall sentiment of the crowd is. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's just as far as storytelling goes, this just nails it 100%.
Yes.
And
And
the
that's
photographer knew what they were doing to get this shot because had it been in any other angle, I feel even if it was like two steps over to the right or left, you wouldn't get that same feeling at all.
right, right. It's so powerful. I love it. I love photography.
Hmm.
Whoever did this shot, we got to look it up. Maybe we'll know it by
Right?
the time we post this podcast. But
Little cliff
uh,
note. It was so and so.
to you, Mondo, and to the rest of all the other photographers out there, we're doing some great work. We're doing really good work.
Hmm.
This is
Thank you.
powerful and impactful things. So
Yeah,
seeing something like this is just really, really enjoyable for me to see.
absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what art should do, right? It
Hmm.
should make you feel something on some level,
Hmm.
whether it's, you know, good or bad, whether it's that's what we want as artists is to get someone to feel something about our work. You know,
Hmm.
you're talking about the first shot that you took that solidified that this is what you want to do for your life. You know, I've
Hmm.
seen that shot, and for our viewers, I'll have that posted up on there, and that way you guys can see it as well. But you can feel the vibe of what was going on at that time in your picture. You know, I remember when
Yeah.
I first looked at it, you know, when you first told me about it and you showed me, I was like, yeah, I feel it. Like you could feel like the gloominess, you could see the rain, you could see all these different things, and it adds to that story. And it's just
Yeah.
phenomenal, you know,
Oh,
and that's what we
yeah.
want as artists.
Hmm. Hmm.
Hmm.
Amazing. I love
Well,
it.
cool. Well, congratulations to this person who shot it. We'll find out who it is if we can.
Yes. We're gonna have to do
But
some research on that one.
yeah, I think so. But that's
But
so good. So yeah, this is gonna be something we're
this
gonna be
is,
doing regularly of kind of like looking at photos in the
yeah,
world.
I love that. If you have an idea for a photo that you want us to kind of like take a look at and give our thoughts on you know or feedback on the shot. You know, we're not the experts where we're all, but we are experts in photography together as a collective whole. So um, we just love to be able to like review those. But on that note, I forgot what I was going to say, Mondo.
So we're wrapping things up. And so we had talked a little bit about the Headshot Crew. That's where Ann and I know each other from.
Oh,
That's what brought
yes,
us
yes,
together. And
yes.
I think it's really, really good to know that there is a community of photographers out there that isn't just, I mean, headshots is the center focus of things, but there also is a portrait side, and I feel that it's a community that has really changed my life, and I can't recommend it enough as far as being in a community. There's no real like egos floating around. Everybody's there to help you out. Everyone's there to get eyes on your work to help you get better at it. Um, and so if you're interested, come take a look at us online, or we're going to be at WPPI in March
That's
in
right.
Vegas. If you're
That's
out
right.
there, stop
Hmm.
by, say hey.
Hey,
I believe
hey,
on
we're
the
doing
18th, the heyday, the
the
big
heyday.
heyday.
Yeah, the big heyday.
So we're gonna have
Yes.
10 headshot booths set up, and Peter's gonna be shooting, and we're trying to shoot as many people as possible in that day.
Yep.
So come
Yep.
out, say hi,
I'll be
sign
there
up with the
too.
crew.
Yeah,
Anna's gonna be there. You can
I'll
learn a
be
lot from
there.
her.
Yeah. Mondo's gonna be there. So like come get photographed by one of us too. So we're gonna be like we'll be there with the whole crew. It's gonna be amazing.
Oh,
But
it's gonna
yeah,
be awesome.
definitely.
I can't wait. I
Definitely.
look forward to
Yeah.
it every year. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. It's
Um,
gonna be
but
fun.
yeah, but with that, if you like this episode, like, subscribe. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on TikTok. It's all going to be under the Photo Hustle podcast. And yeah, we're going to set up a way for you all to write in and let us know what you think, and if there's a topic you want us to discuss. Maybe even do take a look at your work. That could be a thing.
That could be
Critique
that
some
could be a
work.
that could be a thing.
Hmm.
We're still very much in our infancy of this podcast, so the world is our oyster, right? So, but
Yeah.
mainly here to have a nice forum or for photographers to come and maybe talk about what's happening in the current landscape of the world right now and of photography, or to like how what are you doing for your business and what are we doing for our businesses that kind of like get through some of these times of slump if we don't if we're
Hmm.
working through because we're not busy all the time like we're also in the same we're in the same boat too, so we're constantly out there trying to network and get referrals and gain business from anywhere, right? So it's very
Yeah.
much the photo hustle.
Yeah, it is. It really is. But yeah,
Hmm.
I mean, and I actually, and just real quick, somebody I was talking to about this, and they were like, "Well, if you are training people to do what you do, are they going to take your business away?" And I say the same thing that I've said forever is that no, no, there
Right,
is plenty of food on this table for everybody to eat. So
right.
even though if we give you the exact how-to recipe of X, Y, and Z, do this, this, and this, people one will still screw it up. Two, they have to still implement it, right?
Right,
So, I
right,
think as a community, we can all learn from each other. We can all come together and we can all make money, and that's totally cool. And that's what this is about. It's not
right,
just for the beginner, but also for the seasoned photographer.
right.
We all have our slumps, and we all are starting from somewhere. So this is a way to kind of help bridge some gaps and kind of see what the market's doing, I think.
Yes. And then we also have our big wins too, and we celebrate
Oh,
together.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, yes, there's a lot of work out there. We just need to go find it. Okay. So,
Yes.
and
Well,
that's a
Anna, so
wrap.
good hanging with you.
You
We'll
too.
see
Thank
everybody
you,
on the next
Mondo.
episode, and I'll see you
Yes.
later, Anna.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.